I'm a Darkinjung woman, born to my, how do I put this? Sorry, I'm nervous. My grandmother on my mother's side, her mother was a white woman. She was a Pete of Pete's Ridge, Pete's Wharf, George Pete's daughter, one of his daughters. She gave birth to a child here on the Central Coast that was fathered by a Darkinjung man. That's all that's in the records, because back then records weren't very good for the Indigenous people. And it was a shame upon a white woman who was having a baby to an Aboriginal man.
My grandmother, who was taken at birth, was a child of Charles Cox. She was born up in Narrabri to a Yuin mother who was stolen from the south coast, taken to Sydney, and then taken up to Narrabri by Charles Cox. Now, there you go. You want to publish something, my voice, talking, etc., publish it. Yes, that's where my grandmother came from. A Yuin mother and a white fella called Charles Cox. And it was the Catholic Church that took her and wrote her off as dead and rebirthed her. So you want the true facts? Well, start researching that.
My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, is a direct line of the Yuin people. And I am so proud to be Yuin. My grandmother on my maternal side was born to a Darkinjung man. She was born on Pete's Island. Her mother was a Pete, one of Pete's daughters. We didn't interbreed. We knew about you don't marry your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, so on and so forth, before the colonisation occurred. So yes, we're neighbours. At one stage or other, my Darkinjung people would have married into the Guring-gai or the Awabakal. Now, I'm Yuin and Darkinjung. Yuin is the south coast. Darkinjung is the ranges. They did come down to sections of Tuggerah Lake. As I said, I'm Yuin Darkinjung. Now, considering Yuin's the south coast, Darkinjung's the central coast, that'd make you think, oh geez, how? That's so far apart. We didn't have cars back then. But we used to walk up. We have areas where there would be corroborees held, that different mobs from far afield would come and meet here on the Central Coast. The issue, once again, comes down, because I talk a lot about the Central Coast because I live here and it's part of my mob.
Blatant lies. You will note, I have not done anything with my ancestry tree in years. Someone must be, because I tell you what, total lies.